Hi friends, welcome. Today we're going to be working on a little bit of hip extension and spinal extension, all right? So we're going to get started on our forearms with the legs reaching back behind us. Right now, as we create a little nice base of support, press the elbows down, lift the chest up. And as we start to work through some segmentation here, we'll start with the chin coming in towards the chest, and then right away we'll start to concave everything in at the front, letting that thoracic spine open or push back behind us, right? And as we start to go a little bit lower in towards the lower ribs and the belly button, we just squeeze to open up the spine here, and then nice and slow we can lower everything back down, right? Think hips starting to come back down, belly button pulling towards the floor, lower ribs pushing towards the elbow, chest coming forward, and then the head lifting up. All right, so again, same thing as you take the chin in towards the chest, push the floor away with the forearms, concave the chest in, let that upper back open, slowly moving down to lower ribs, belly in. And maybe those hips are lifting a bit here as you find your spinal flexion, and then nice and steady we'll lower those hips back down, belly button down, ribs towards the elbows, chest forward, and again that head is the last thing to come up and the first thing to go down. Again, head comes in. I'm going to start to open up that upper back, pushing everything through. Again, thinking about stuff on the front doing the work to free up that space in the spine. And again, slowly making your way back down, as always taking your time to go through it. No rush, just feeling things steadily finding their space, finding your movement, and finding that connection. So we'll go for one more here. Great. When we're done here, we're going to just come lying down with the head to the back of the hands. Bend the right knee, and we'll get into some knee CARs. So once we get there, think about the shin spinning out, so that external rotation, keeping the foot flexed. Take the heel in towards the hip. Good. And then we'll bring the leg straight towards the floor. We'll start to internally rotate the leg. And again, bringing the heel back towards the hip. Keep that internal rotation, so that shin's pointing in. We'll bring it back down. Rotate that shin out. And bring the heel back towards the hip. And again, fighting for that space, like really squeezing the back of the leg to get that heel in as close as you can. And bring the leg out, but of course towards straight, but not too straight. Internally rotate at that shin. And bringing it back. And finding your rotation. Heel towards the hip. And again, as you go back out, rotate again, heel in towards the hip. Good, last one. The next time that heel comes in, you can relax the leg, send it down, changing to the left. Right, flex the foot. We're going to take the heel closer towards the hip. Find that external rotation first, shin trying to point out and away. Bring the leg towards the floor, straighten but not too straight, internally rotate, take the heel towards the hip, kind of squeeze at the end, right, making sure that we're going as far as you can through that knee flexion as possible. Again, heel as close to the hip as you can, sending it back out, rotating, finding that internal rotation, heel to the hip. Again, nice, slow and steady, easy does it. last round here. Again, fighting for that internal rotation of the shin, still trying to keep that foot flexed the whole way. Think about that movement coming from the knee. And when we're done here, that heel comes in, you can relax, and it will push up onto all fours. Right, having the knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, great, creating that nice little box shape with the body. Keep the spine as steady as possible, trying not to flex or extend or anything else, right? Again, making sure that our hips stay exactly where they are so that we're not dropping them off to the side here, all right? Once you keep everything as steady as you can, start to shift away just a slight bit to that right knee. Lift the left knee up. We'll get that flexion of the knee. Knee comes in. Take the leg out to the side so we're abducting and internally rotating. Start to lift the knee up towards the ceiling. Right? Try not to get a little arch here. Keep that belly nice and tight. Take the knee in. Bring it out. And again, starting to spin that knee up towards the ceiling. And a couple more in this direction before we change. Again, fighting for height in the knee, taking the leg in, watch to make sure that nothing changes in the spine. And then we're going to change direction here, lift the knee towards the ceiling, taking it out as we abduct, good, bringing the knee in, and then lifting, and then back out again. Last one, bring that knee down. Good, we're going to change and go to the right. And again, just make sure that hip's not spilling off to the side. Keep everything as even as possible. Lift the right knee, let it hover, take the knee in, bring it out to the side, lift the knee towards the ceiling. Again, taking that leg back in and continuing to rotate in that exact same direction. Each time, trying to expand that circle, finding as much range in that hip as possible with control. And we'll change, lifting the knee up, bring it out to the side. And again, still fighting to keep that body as still as possible. Notice if those elbows are starting to bend, keep them straight. Drive the hands into the floor. And lift the knee out to the side. As always, if you're not with the cueing, not a big deal. Lift the knee up, taking it out, in, and lower it down. Good. When that right knee comes down, we can take those hands up. We'll step the left foot forward, so we're more into this 90-90 position, right? Finding that stance here. Think about knee, foot pushing down, squeezing towards one another so that we're getting that nice little engagement here through the back of that left and the front of the right leg. Take the arms out in front, one elbow on top of the other, hug the shoulders. You're going to find that spinal flexion. Press the elbows forward, pull the belly in. Right? Don't think about coming over the leg, but just pushing in and popping out the spine behind you. And once you find that flexion here, we'll start to rotate to the left. Think about that left side starting to crunch. Right? Taking that left shoulder down into that left pocket. Extending as you lift the chest up towards the ceiling, coming the other way. Good, think about that stuff on the right side, crunching. Bring it all the way into the center and then squeezing through that right side, changing. Again, if you notice that you start to lose your balance, again, just think about squeezing those inner legs towards one another, like you're trying to shorten up your mat here. Changing direction here, good, squeezing that stuff. Think about lower back and then pulling that spine up. Finding that global extension. Good, last one. Good. Slowly bringing yourself up here. Good. Keeping everything the same through these legs. Reach the arms forward, close your hands, and we'll bring those arms off about 10 degrees. It's nice and simply here, lifting the shoulders in towards the ear, so you're shrugging, taking the shoulders back as you retract, bringing the shoulder blades down and forward. Try to keep those arms more or less in the same plane. They'll go forward and back, but just try not to let them move up and down like that. And nice and steady. And we're just going to go one way this time, right? Making sure that we get that feeling for how those shoulders should be working. As always, if you notice any choppiness, just slow it down through the area. Good. Last one, we'll relax those arms down. And taking that left foot over to the right, we'll sink the hips down. So we'll end up in a 90-90. This time sitting down, and I'll change a little bit so you can see the leg. So it'll be that right leg just a little bit off to the side. I think knee in line with the hip. And if you need to, it can even go back a little bit further. Just make sure there's no little pinching or discomfort in that outside of the hip right off the bat here, or really at any time. All right. We're going to start facing forward. Right, we're going to go through a little bit of eccentrics, pulling ourselves into the stretch. And as we're doing that, the right foot's going to try to lift. You're going to try to push the inside of that right leg towards the floor as we rotate over to the right at the same time. So that's trying to just give that little visual here. Lifting, pulling forward, and rotating slowly into the position. All right? And if you need to create a little radiation here, you can always hug onto your block or cup your hands. Take an inhale, try to lift the foot, pull the inside of that right leg down, then twist for 3, 2, 1, and then relax, come back. Same thing, inhale, try to lift, twist, think 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring it back. Good, again, inhale, try to lift that foot, rotate 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, relax it here. If you get that little cramp, just fight through it. Again, inhale, try to lift, rotate, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, bring it back. And again, inhale. Good, work to rotate, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, and again, sending it back, inhale, work to lift the foot, rotate, squeeze. 2, 1, and again, send it back. Got one more just like that again, inhale. Good, work to rotate, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sending it back. That's it, you can place that block off to the side. And just slide that left heel closer towards the right leg. Send a little lean first. Lift the leg. Rotate. Leg all the way forward. Setting that foot down. If you need hands, use your hands. If not, you're going to push into that left shin. Come all the way up. And then slide that knee back a little bit. So we're back into that lunging 90-90. Again, think foot, knee pressing down, trying to pull towards one another. Again, as we get into our spinal CARs, again, think one elbow on top of the other, hug the shoulder blades, press everything forward. Again, think concaving everything along the front first. All right, think using the opposite side to find space the other. And we're going to take that rotation over to the right. So just squeeze the stuff on the right. And take the right shoulder down into the pocket and lift that breastbone up and start to come over to the left, rotate. Think about pulling everything on that left side, trying to bring that right shoulder towards that long edge of your mat, come into the center, and then change direction, go the other way. And continuing to squeeze through those legs, trying to find that support. And coming over, rotating into the middle. And again, coming back, the other way. Good. Last round here. Again, really getting that global extension, lifting that breastbone up, moving over to rotate to the right, into the middle, and then sending yourself back up again. Once you relax those shoulders, bring them out in front, close your hands, bring it off about 10 degrees here. This time as you get those shoulder blades to lift up, we're going to protract first, bring the hands, punching them forward, open the upper back, sending the shoulders down, back, and then up, and continuing to rotate in that exact same direction, nice and steady. Again, those areas that you feel that you're rushing through, slow it down. Notice that choppiness, slow it down through that area as well. Again, bring the shoulders back, lift, forward, down. And just a couple more. And next time that we get that depression, lower it down, relax. And we'll take, again, our 90-90. Again, as I adjust so you can see the legs, right? Think knees in line with the hips here, unless of course you get that pinching there, or if you need a little bit extra space, you slide the knee back slightly as well. All right, so remember, it's the trying to lift at the foot, pulling of the inner thigh down, and rotating at the same time, so that when we get into that rotation, that we're getting that stretch or that little tension through the inside of that left groin. And you can use your block, cup your hands if you need. Stay facing forward. Remember, it's 6 seconds to rotate. We'll try to lift the foot, rotate at the same time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. And inhale. Work to lift, rotate. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. Again, inhale, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the center. Inhale. Work to lift. Rotate. Remember, it's probably not going to lift. Shouldn't lift as we hit that end range. Back to the center. Inhale. Work to lift. Rotate. Good. Come back to the middle. Again, 2 more. Inhale. Try to lift that foot up. Rotate. Squeeze the inside of that leg down. Back to the middle. Last one here. Good. Coming all the way back to the center. And again, we're going to lean. Cup your hands. Still hold onto that block if you need. Lift that left leg up. Swing it forward. Right heel comes in. And then we'll lie down on your back. All right, as we get into one extension of both the hip and the spine, think about feet maybe a wide hip distance apart. Right, we're gonna press the lower back down first. Right, start to squeeze the butt, lift the hip, and then nice and slow, you're gonna peel the spine off of the mat, just one little bit at a time. And then once you get to the top, you're gonna roll a little bit onto the shoulders, right? Press the arms down, almost like you're trying to karate chop the ground. And we're gonna hang out here, right? So once we get into that extension on the hip and extension in the spine, we'll take that little pause and rest, all right? So when we hold it here, I'm just gonna explain the PAILs and rails. PAILs, your feet, shoulders push down, and you're going to try to lengthen the mat. You're trying to push them away from each other. All right, so you're thinking about creating that strength through the stuff on the front side of the legs, right? Like you're almost trying to straighten your legs here. right? In the rails, you're going to work to pull the heels and shoulders in, trying to prop the chest towards your chin, finding a little bit more extension through that whole backside. All right, taking an inhale here, starting nice and slow, 20% effort. Start to push feet, shoulders down, like you're trying to press them away from one another. 30%. Steadily ramping to 40. If you need to hold on to something, grab. 60. Good, match that effort throughout. Safest maximal effort, pushing it as hard as you can. 4, 3, 2, pull the heels in, lift the breastbone up, roll a little bit more onto those shoulders. Think about squeezing as much as you can through that posterior chain and hold. Keep everything exactly as it is and just breathe as you're here. And we are going to go for a second round. Again, it'll be the same thing. Remember, PAILs, feet, shoulders trying to move away from one another. Rails trying to shorten up that mat, lifting everything up. All right, so again, taking that inhale, start to push down, 20% effort, trying to press everything away. Good, ramping up to 30. 40%. Try to keep that height as you continue to push away. 60. Effort match through the whole body. Safest maximal effort. Try to tear your mat in half. Keep pushing down. 3, 2, pull the heels in. Lift that chest up and keep going. Squeeze everything through that backside. Another 4, 3, 2. Good. Relax. Hold. Keep everything up. And not too much longer here. Just about 10 more seconds. And then nice and slow, lower everything back down to the floor. Whew. Great, we're going to take the right leg straight and on the floor. Take the left shin parallel with the mat, so that knee's stacked just over top of the hip. We'll go through some little capsular CARs here, internally and externally rotating that left leg. And that internal rotation is the foot trying to move towards the outer edge of the mat, right? Think about pulling that leg out, and then externally rotating, trying to take the foot towards your right shoulder. Good strength on the stuff on the inside of the leg. I think as you internally rotate, think strength on the stuff on the outside, squeezing, making sure the hip isn't hiking up, and then changing, right? So we want evenness through both sides as we find our rotation here. So if you notice the stuff crunching on your left, then you know that that left hip starts to hike up. Again, you've already reached your limit. There's no point in pushing any further at that. And going the other way. And last one, taking the foot towards your right shoulder. Bring it back to the center. Again, we'll set it down, left leg straight. And as we change, bend the right knee. Again, taking that internal rotation first, think about the foot moving towards the right side of the mat. Squeeze the stuff on the outer hip. And then moving back the other way. And again, finding your rotation. And then externally rotate. Again, it's strength on that stuff on the inside of the leg, and then as we internally rotate, it's strength on the stuff on the outside of the leg that we're looking for. And again, notice if stuff starts to hike up on, especially that right side, right? Just noting that once you hit the wall on that hip, the spine starts to laterally flex and compensate. And last round, and we'll bring it back. We'll take both feet back onto the floor. And like we started just before we got into those bridges, we're gonna move through the spinal segmentation the exact same way, right? Feet push down. Right, we're gonna press the lower back into the floor first. So using that mat as some feedback, those hands can just rest. And I want you to think about using the body and not the arms to find that segmentation or to assist with it. When that lower back pushes down, start to squeeze the butt, and then slowly peeling the spine off of the floor, just one little bit at a time. And again, once it stops when you get to the top, and then we slowly start to move back down to the mat. Again, one little piece of spine at a time. And think lower back pressing down first, and then the hips. Good, continuing. And nice and steady. Peeling, using that mat as feedback, knowing where and how that spine is lifting up. And once you hit that wall at the top, change and slowly going back the other way. Good, same thing. And again, just feeling that spine coming back in contact with the mat, one piece at a time. And we're going to go for one more, just like that. Again, getting that afferent, efferent feedback. Uploading that work through the bridge that we just did. Next time, those hips come down. And we're gonna flip over onto our stomachs. Right. Now I want you to really think about trying to keep the feet down. Right? You're trying to push the tops of the feet into the floor as much as you can through here. Right? When the arms come out to the side, you're gonna squeeze the back, lift. That is your active range of motion here through the spinal extension. The hands come down, you can think fingertips, lift up about 5 or 10 degrees, right? Once we get to that 5 or 10 degrees, we're gonna take that pause, right? We're gonna take an inhale here, squeeze everything tight in your spine, don't let yourself drop, whole body's involved, slowly lift the hands, hover. Try to keep that height. 2, 1, hands come down. Good. Now again, push yourself back up about 5 or 10 degrees. Whole body's involved. Inhale, squeeze the spine. Don't let it fall. Slowly release, lift the hands. Hold. 2, 1, hands back down. Same thing. Lifting up about 5 or 10 degrees. Think chest pulling forward. Take the inhale. Squeeze the spine tight. Drive those legs down, slowly lift. 2, 1, hands down. Same thing. Press up, chest forward. Take the inhale. Slowly lift the hands. Try to keep your height. 3, 2, slowly lower yourself down to the floor. Take a little rest here, just a moment. Catch your breath. All right, we're gonna have our block. All right, place it one underneath the knee and the other one just in between the hands, right? So we're more in this position here. And you can always grade exactly what you need by sending the knee further out or bringing the knee further in towards your elbow, right? Now, we'll start with the right leg. So block just underneath the right knee. And you can see here that if I bend the knee, crush the block with the hands, so we're getting that radiation, and then lift. You can see all of that height that I'm getting through the leg there. All right, we want to make sure that we're working at our end range. So if that's happening, then we take the knee maybe a little bit closer, see how that feels, trying to lift, or maybe taking it all the way in, right? Finding that steadiness here. So we don't want any of that little arching through the back. We want it just to come into the butt and the back of the leg. Again, with that knee bent, right? Squeeze the block nice and tight. Take an inhale. Try not to shift forward, nothing changes. Lift the right knee up and then slowly lower it back down. Good. Again, watch the shift. If you're moving forward, take your knee back a little bit further to be able to get the knee off of the block. Again, take the inhale, lift, slowly lower. Again, inhale, up, and again, slowly down. Good. 4, inhale. 5, parachute it. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Up, and again, parachute it down. Good. Remember, left, right leg might be a little bit different, so you might have to either adjust with the knee going forward or back. All right. Now again, same thing. We're trying to keep everything as steady as possible. No shifting of that weight forward, right? No crunching in of your lower back. So just be aware of your movements if you're feeling or seeing it, especially if you got a mirror around. I don't know how you could see the lower back crunching unless you're doing your best exorcism impression. All right, we're gonna, again, squeeze the block, take everything nice and tight. Inhale, lift the knee, slowly lower it down. Again, just stuff in the butt and the back of the leg. Inhale, lift, slowly lower it down. Again, 3, lift, parachute it to the block. 4, slowly lowering it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, coming out of this position, and you can move the blocks off to the side. We're going to lie down flat onto your stomach. And again, the head can be to the back of the hands. Unless, of course, you need to watch and see. We're going to bend the right knee. Again, have that foot towards the ceiling. Lift the knee off of the floor. Keep the little bony points at the front of the hip down, that ASIS, so that we're not just tilting off to one side. And once we're there, you're going to internally rotate. Think about the foot moving off towards the outer edge of the mat, and then externally rotate. Again, no pressure in the lower back here. Should be all butt, all back of the leg. And again, internally rotate. And externally rotate. Again, same thing, find that internal rotation. Again, externally rotate. And just a couple more. Of course, not just letting the legs swing from side to side. Think about the intention. This is save work. Upload your workspace. Last round. Good. Bring it back to the center, lowering it down. And bringing the leg straight. And as we get the rotations on the left leg, bend the knee, lift the knee up. And again, that little bony point at the front of the hip stays down. And then we're going to take that internal rotation, foot moving out to the left. Keep the height of the knee. Make sure it's just behind the hip. And rotate again the other way. And going back. And again, changing. Same thing, other side. Back the other way. And last one, find that external rotation. And bring it back down. And you can relax that leg. Perfect. We're going to bend the right knee, reach behind, but get the knee nice and high again. Again, we want that bony point at the front of the hip down. Pull the heel in towards the hip. Now we're going to do a little passive range hold here, trying to keep everything exactly where it is. Right, take an inhale, squeeze the back of the leg, release the foot. Try to keep that heel in as much as you can. Hold. Good. Grab the leg and pull it back in. Take the inhale, squeeze the back, slowly release. Try to keep it where it is. 2, 1. Again, grab, pull it in. Same thing. Find strength through the back. Inhale. Release. And again, grab it, pull it in, just short little ones today. Inhale, slowly release, hold. And then slowly let that leg straighten here. And same thing, we're going to go to the other side. Again, as you bend the knee, lift the knee up. Again, that bony point still stays down on the floor, so we're getting that extension through the hip. All right, take that inhale, squeeze the heel in towards your hip, then move the foot away from the hand, then remove the hand nice and slow. Think about that strength right through the back. And again, grabbing on, pulling that heel in. Inhale, get the knee nice and high, slowly release. Hold. And grab the ankle, pull it in, get the knee nice and high. Inhale, squeeze, heel to the hip, slowly release. Last one, again, heel in, inhale, squeeze the back of the leg as much as you can, slowly release, hold. And then nice and steady, and lower that down. And we're going to come back onto all fours. And just bringing the knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. And we'll start to find a flexion here. Push the floor away, pull the belly in. Then as we go through our segmentations, again, we're going to start at the hips. Right? As those hips start to lift up, we slowly start to push in through the lower back. Think belly button pulling towards the floor. Nice and steady, moving one little bit of spine at a time. All right, lower ribs, chest, and then that head comes up last. Good, again, tucking the tailbone under, pulling in the belly button, slowly moving through, letting that spine open up, using the stuff on the front to guide the movement. Concave and everything. Head comes in last. Again, same thing. And lift that tailbone up. Good, nice and gently, starting at that lowest vertebra, and then like dominoes, letting them all fall one little piece at a time. Again, tucking and steadily moving through. Good, one more full round each way, and working slowly through extension. Remember, the name of the game is slow and steady. Notice especially through those starts at the hip if we're rushing through. And again, concaving in, and then chin into the chest. And we'll relax here. Bringing ourselves down to sit. And then just nice and easy, we'll go through some knee CARs just to get settled at the end. And right arm can come underneath. You can either clamp or I guess choke hold the leg, or you can just hold on with both arms. Just making sure that the thigh is not swaying from side to side, right? We just want that movement at your shin. So whatever is comfortable here. And we're gonna flex the foot, rotate the shin out, bring the leg up, rotate the shin in, and then sending the heel towards the hip. And then continuing, rotate the shin out, heel towards the hip, again lifting that leg towards straight, rotate the shin in, heel in towards the hip, right, lifting it up, think about that strength and the stuff on the inside, rotate it out, heel towards the hip, back up, rotate the shin in, heel to the hip. And last full round here. And next time that we get the heel in, knees bent, lower it down. Again, just nice and easy. Nothing has to be too intense here. Just think about cooling down the leg a little bit. And flex the foot, rotate the shin out, bring the leg up, rotate the shin in. Again, making sure that the thigh is not moving with us, or even that our body isn't shifting along with the rotation at the knee. And again, lifting, try not to bring it to straight, but towards straight. Rotate the shin out. Again, that movement is coming from the knee. Lifting it up, rotate the shin in. And again, up. Again, even if stuff you see isn't moving, it's the intention that counts, right? Just think about stuff on the inside of the leg here, building some strength, and as you rotate out, it's stuff on the outside of the leg, building that strength, right? And as we bring it down, once we finish there, as always, thank you for taking the time to have a little bit of practice today. Enjoy the rest of your day.